Okay, every Thursday, farms check in on Homesteaders Collective, all authors, and let you know what's going on at the farm. I winterized my bees today. I'm in a northern climate, central New Jersey. We get winters. Bees are notoriously difficult to overwinter. It took me 3 seasons to get it figured out. They kept dying. Don't beat yourself up for it if it happens to you. It just takes practice and good stock that finally makes it through the winter. Here's what I did. We'll start with the bottom entrance. That's a pygmy shrew mouse guard entrance reducer. 1/4-inch hardware cloth. Bees can come and go, in and out. Rodents, pygmy shrews, cannot get in. I'm gonna spray this with some smoke. Give them something to do. So in the spring, I will pop a screwdriver underneath these staples and just pry them loose. That is a guard bee at the entrance there, and it wants me to go away. I'll leave in just a minute, baby. That should keep out shrews. I know. All right, so here's what I did. This is 1/4-inch hardware cloth. I just used staples to affix it at a 90-degree angle to the entrance, so it's stapled up on the hive box, and then it's also stapled on the landing board. Shrews cannot fit through here. In the event there might be a shrew in there that I missed, which is unlikely, it wouldn't be able to get out and the bees would kill it because there's no water in there. So this is what an entrance looks like. 1/4-inch, just barely big enough for the bees. I do take this off as soon as I can in the spring because when their pollen baskets are full, it can be hard for them to fit in there and some of the pollen can get knocked off. So it's best to just keep this on temporarily during the coldest part of the year. Above that, I have 2 brood boxes. Those are filled with bees. If they weren't filled with bees, I would need to condense them down so that they could comfortably cluster and stay warm. Too much space is too difficult for them to keep warm. Really excited about this hive. It takes up about the size of a soccer ball up here and in the bottom box. This is an incredibly strong population. I probably could have split this, but now I know this is pretty much a guarantee, knock on wood, for getting through the winter. That's a very, very healthy hive. Above that, with a circular hole in the top, right there, that is a rim spacer. It adds 1 1/4 inches of space for me to set sugar cakes on top of it. So if they go through all their reserves and stores of food in the wintertime, I can create crystallized sugar cakes, put it right on the brood frames, and they can feed on that. Okay, so I'm gonna screen in the bottom, just like I did here. These are all frames. This is a full honey super. I'm gonna give it to them because I had a treat with it on there. This is a rim spacer, or just called a spacer. Sugar cakes go in here if needed, but right now I'm gonna let them feed off this. When this starts to look bare, I'll remove this. Sugar cakes will go in here. I just want them to go ahead and have that because it props up the inner cover, which gives them a little ventilation. Above that, you see that little rectangular notch that's on top of the hole? That's the inner cover. The notch is on there. It needs to stay there because it allows for ventilation, which is also where the very top box underneath the inner cover right there, that's a quilt box. It's a screened in spacer on the bottom so I can set wood chips in there. That goes right underneath the cover. Why do we need wood chips? It catches condensation and moisture that collects from underneath the lid. Bees can survive cold, they can't survive being cold and wet, they freeze. So that catches all of the moisture, preventing it from dripping onto them, and they stay dry. And then we have our cover on the top. Inner cover, I do that opening notch down. Okay, some yellow jackets here. Okay, and then we're gonna put quilt box. This is where the wood chips are gonna go. Okay, that on top. So these babes are good to go. Last thing I'm gonna do is put this cover on in that screen. We're in bear country, black bear. So they have ransacked my hives before. Just means we ratchet strap. Now, depending on the wind situation, this winter I may or may not insert housing insulation board panels and slide them right through the ratchet strap slats that are in between, that gap there between the side of the hive body and the ratchet strap. Just adds another barrier of warmth. That's a lot. That's what goes into winterizing bees. I don't need windbreaks. Some people stack hay bales. They put up different types of exterior cloth material to create a barrier from wind. I'm not in an open field. I don't really have that situation. Good to have that done. Homesteaders Collective, every Thursday, telling you what's going on with our farms. Okay, I am done. Have a good night.